You're 7 years old, standing at the gates of the Agoge. You're small, scared, holding a wooden sword that's too heavy for your hands. You're crying, but trying to hide it. 20 years later, you'll be standing in a phalanx, bigger, angrier, holding a real sword covered in blood. You won't cry anymore. You won't feel anything anymore. But right now, you're just a terrified kid watching your parents walk away. It's like being dropped off at sleepaway camp. If sleepaway camp was run by drill sergeants who hate children, they're not calling it murder camp. They're calling it the Agoge. State-mandated education, character building, preparing you for citizenship. It's murder camp. You're going to learn to kill people for the next 13 years, starting now. But sure, call it education. That's like calling a shark attack aggressive swimming lessons. Your mom hugged you goodbye. Your dad told you to come back with your shield or on it. That's not a motivational speech. That's a literal instruction, win or die. No third option, no participation trophies in Sparta. Welcome to being a Spartan, where childhood is a military training program, weakness gets you killed, and the state decided your entire life before you learn to walk. It's like the Hunger Games, except it lasts 20 years, and nobody's rooting for you. You didn't choose this. You were born in Sparta. That means you're property of the state. Your parents don't really own you. The city-state owns you. You're an investment in future military power, like a really sad stock portfolio that bleeds. When you were born, you were inspected by elders, old men examining you like they're buying a used car. They checked if you were healthy, strong, no obvious defects. If you passed inspection, you got to live. If you didn't, you were taken to a cliff and left there. Sparta didn't waste resources on weak children. They just removed them. It's like natural selection, except with zero nature and all selection. Very normal, very ethical. Great system, guys. You passed inspection. Congratulations. Now you get to experience the Agoge. You won the worst lottery ever. You're 7. You just got here. You don't have parents anymore. You have instructors. They're called paedonomes. Basically drill sergeants for children who watched one too many war movies and thought, yes, this but with second graders. You're grouped with other 7-year-olds, about 60 boys. This is your unit. Some of them will become your brothers. Some will become your enemies. Some will die during training. Training is dangerous. Nobody mentions this in the brochure, probably because there is no brochure. Marketing wasn't Sparta's strong suit, murder was. You're given one cloak. One. For all weather. Summer. Winter. Doesn't matter. This is intentional. Sparta wants you uncomfortable, cold, suffering. It's like wearing a t-shirt in a blizzard, except the blizzard lasts 13 years and complaining gets you punched. You're not getting enough food. Also, intentional. You're hungry constantly. The instructors give you barely enough to survive. You're supposed to steal food to supplement your diet, but if you get caught stealing, you're beaten. Not for stealing, for getting caught. Learn to be sneaky or starve. It's like a really terrible game show where the grand prize is not dying from malnutrition. You sleep on reeds you gathered yourself from the river. No blankets, no mattress. Just reeds on the ground in a communal barracks that's freezing and smells like 60 unwashed children. You're bathed maybe once a year. When you're dunked in a cold river. Spartans didn't believe in frequent bathing. Builds character. Or lice. Definitely lice. Welcome to your new home for 13 years. It's basically summer camp if summer camp was designed by people who think child labor laws are suggestions. The training is brutal. And by brutal, I mean designed to break you so they can rebuild you as a weapon. You're not a person anymore. You're a work in progress. The progress is violence. You wake up at dawn, maybe earlier. Sleep is for the weak. You run miles every day, while hungry, while cold. It's like a terrible fitness influencer's morning routine, except nobody's monetizing your suffering. Except Sparta. Sparta is definitely monetizing your suffering. You practice fighting, with wooden swords at first, later with real weapons. You're learning to kill, efficiently, no fancy moves. Just, how do I end this person as quickly as possible? It's like speedrunning, except the game is murder and there's no reset button. You wrestle. Constantly. With other boys. This isn't sport. This is learn to fight without weapons or become the practice dummy. Losing means getting hurt. Getting hurt means looking weak. Looking weak means getting targeted more. You're learning to endure pain. The instructors hit you. Regularly. If you cry, you get hit more. If you show pain, you get hit more. You learn not to react. This is literally the curriculum. Introduction to Getting Hit 101. Required course, no dropping allowed. There's an annual ritual where boys are whipped at the altar of Artemis, not as punishment, as a test. Who can endure the longest without screaming? Some boys die from being whipped. This is considered normal. Educational. It's like a spelling bee, except instead of spelling words, you're spelling "please stop hitting me" with your screams. Totally reasonable activity for children. You're learning to steal, not because Sparta approves of theft, because they want you to be sneaky. You sneak into the Helot villages, enslaved people who farm Sparta's land, and steal food. If you get caught by instructors, you're beaten for being bad at crime. The actual crime isn't the problem. Your incompetence is. It's like your parents saying don't steal, but also if you're gonna steal, don't get caught. Mixed messages. You're learning to fight as a unit. This is crucial. Spartan warfare is about the phalanx, the formation. If you break formation, everyone dies. If you drop your shield, everyone dies. If you run, everyone dies. You're like one Jenga block in a tower made of violence. If you mess up, the whole thing collapses and everyone blames you. You're learning not to complain, ever. Spartans are stoic, emotionless, strong. Complaining is weakness. Weakness is death. So you shut up. You endure. You become an emotionless killing machine. Therapy? Never heard of her? Emotional processing? Sounds weak. Healthy coping mechanisms? Absolutely not. You're also getting educated. Sort of. You learn to read and write. Basic arithmetic. But education is minimal. Spartans didn't care about philosophy or art or culture. They cared about war. Poetry is for Athenians. Spartans fight. Why read Homer when you can be Homer's subject matter? Why study the Iliad when you can live the Iliad? Except sadder and with more lice. You're 12 now, 5 years into this nightmare. You're hungry, cold, covered in bruises that have bruises. You've seen kids die from training accidents, from disease, from the whipping ritual, living the dream. The terrible, terrible dream. The competition is vicious. You're competing against the other boys in your unit. For status, for respect, for food, for not being the weakest one who gets targeted. It's like middle school, except everyone's armed and traumatized and nobody's pretending to be nice. There are fights, constant fights. The instructors don't always stop them. Sometimes they watch, see who wins, who has potential. It's entertainment for the coaches. Like gladiator fights, but with children. Very cool, very normal. You've made alliances. Found a few kids you trust. You protect each other. Share stolen food. These bonds are deep. Trauma bonding at its finest. Nothing brings people together like shared suffering. You've also made enemies. There's one kid who's been your rival since you arrived. You hate him. He hates you. The instructors encourage this competition makes you both stronger, or it makes one of you dead. Either way, Sparta wins. You're 14. The Krypteia is coming. This is the final test. You're sent into the countryside, alone, no supplies. Your mission, survive. Hunt Helots, the enslaved population. Kill them. Prove you can murder stealthily. This is state-sanctioned assassination training. You're teenagers learning to hunt people. It's like a field trip, except instead of the zoo, you're hunting humans. This is fine. Everything is fine. Some boys excel at this. They're natural killers. They come back proud. Definitely well-adjusted individuals with no psychological issues whatsoever. Some boys struggle. They're not psychologically capable of murdering enslaved people for practice. They do it anyway, because refusing means you failed. So yeah, you do the thing you'll never be able to undo. You survived the Krypteia. You came back. You did what was required. You don't want to think about it. It's over. Move forward. Bury it deep. Therapy still isn't invented yet, so good luck with that. You're 20 now. 13 years of training. You're graduating. You're a Spartan warrior, a citizen. Finally, your prize is more violence. Remember that scared 7-year-old at the gates? Gone. You're standing in formation now, armor on, spear in hand, face hard, eyes cold. They took that crying kid and built something else, something that doesn't break, something that kills without hesitation. You're like a Pokemon, except instead of evolving into something cool, you evolved into trauma. Except you're not done, not even close. You're assigned to a syssitia, a mess hall. You eat with these men, fight with these men, live with these men, every day, until you're 60 if you live that long. It's like a really aggressive book club, except instead of discussing books, you're discussing the best ways to stab people. You're expected to marry, have children, but you don't live with your wife. You live in the barracks. You visit her occasionally to produce children, then you leave. Romance is dead. Sparta killed it. Your relationship status is it's complicated, except it's not complicated, it's just bad. Your kids? If they're boys, they'll go to the Agoge at 7 just like you did. The cycle continues. You're perpetuating your own trauma. If they're girls, they'll get educated too. But their job is producing more Spartan warriors. Everyone has a role. Everyone serves the state. Very dystopian. You're fighting in wars, constantly. Sparta is always at war. You're in the phalanx. Shield locked with your brothers. Spear forward. This is what you trained for. All those years of suffering finally paying off in more suffering. You've killed people. Lots of people. You don't count anymore. You don't think about them. You're a Spartan. Killing is your job. Emotions are weakness. You shut down that part of yourself years ago. Processing feelings? Sounds fake. You're 35 now. You've been fighting for 15 years. Most of your original unit is dead. You're still here. Survivor's guilt is also weakness, so you don't think about that either. Your body is broken. Your knees are destroyed. Your back hurts constantly. You've got scars everywhere. You've broken most of your bones at least once. You're held together by scar tissue and sheer stubbornness. And spite. Mostly spite. You're like a car that should have been totaled years ago, but keeps running out of pure malice. You're 60. Finally, you can retire. You served 40 years. You survived. Barely. You're an elder now. You advise. You train. You inspect babies to see if they're strong enough to live. You're perpetuating the same system that broke you. Because this is all you know. Your entire identity is Spartan warrior. Without that, who are you? You don't know. You never developed a personality beyond weapon. Hobbies? Interests? Never heard of them. You're a one-trick pony, except the trick is violence. You die at 63. Your body just gave out. Your funeral is simple. You're buried with honor. Your shield is placed on your grave. You came back with your shield just like your father told you. You never got to choose your life. Never got to explore who you could have been. Never got to be anything except what Sparta made you. Was it worth it? Ask the 7-year-old who got dropped off at murder camp. Spoiler, he can't answer because you killed that kid years ago and replaced him with this. And speaking of brutal training systems that break your body and mind, check out my video on your life as a Roman gladiator, because those guys also got their entire existence controlled by others and spent their lives being weapons for entertainment. You were a weapon for the state. They were weapons for the crowd. Different masters. Same nightmare. Links right there.